There it is. There it is. There it is. There it is. So first, bounce everything. Then play the land. Hello, good game. Welcome back, ghouls and goblins. Thank you so much for taking the time to support the channel. Really appreciate that. Be sure to like the video if you want to support me. And of course, become a subscriber of the channel and you could win a complete D&D rare playset. Heyo! That triggers at 35,000 subs. If you want to keep track, check out the Linktree link if you want to learn more, right? There's all of the different ways to support the channel, join the community, partake within the community available in that link in the description below. Of course, you can give it a Google as well. Today, we are playing with the Simic ramp land summoner using my favorite card, Cyclone Summoner, just bouncing everything, and it's a good fit for the meta, and we're climbing quite nicely within Mythic. So in the video, we're gonna break down the deck, talk about strategies, synergies, and then showcase all of that in the gameplay footage, finally wrapping up with my final thoughts and deck review. So with that being said, let's get into it. All right, so Land Summoner, Standard 2022, version 1, is a 3.7 average mana value deck with 20 non-creatures, 16 creatures, 24 land, right? So this is a typical mid-range deck where we're ramping into heavier cost spells. We have, a ton of ramp in the deck, and the majority of the deck is ramp. The Dryad, turn 1, it's a 1/1. You can sacrifice it as early as turn 2 after the attack, of course, or during a chump block defense style technique, to grab a forest, put it into the battlefield tapped, then shuffle, right? So this is very good. It allows you to play an additional land on turn 2. Also, Emergent Sequence, sorcery speed for 2, search your library for a basic land card, put it into the battlefield tapped, it becomes a 0/0 blue fractal creature that is still a land, and put a +1/+1 counter on it for each other land that we had enter the battlefield under our control that turn, right? So 8 cards to allow us to ramp on turn 2 is very, very good. And then turn 3 ramp with Roiling Regrowth, instant speed, sacrifice a land, then search for 2 basics from our library, put them into the battlefield tapped, then shuffle, right? So allowing us to play 2 lands on turn 3 as well, which is great. And then we're capitalizing, on a lot of that land with Cosima, God of the Voyage. It's a 2/4, and at the beginning of your upkeep, you may exile it. If you do, it gains whenever a land enters the battlefield. You get to put a Voyage counter on the God of the Voyage, or have it enter play if you want, again, with that many +1/+1 counters on it, where X equals the number of Voyage counters, right? And you'll also draw X cards, which is really cool. So, you get this exiled early on, you play it turn 3, turn 4, it's in exile, and then you're ramping, stacking Voyage counters on God of the Voyage, and then, later on in game, plop that onto the field. It's a 6/8, who knows what it makes it to. Maybe it's an 8/10 or something, and you fill your hand up with cards again, and you can keep playing the match out, which is really cool. So not only does it make a very good defender against a lot of the aggro decks, but it will draw you a nasty amount of cards. The Almond is in here as well, and we can crew it with the Dryad, which is interesting. A 3/3. Whenever a vehicle you control deals combat damage to a player, that player exiles that many cards from the top of their library. In this case, it's going to be 3, right? And then you may play lands from among those exiled cards, as long as they remained exiled, which is actually pretty good. It ensures you'll never miss a land drop. You're always playing your opponent's lands. So, if you have a turn 1 Dryad, no turn 2 sequence, sure, play the Almond as turn 2, and now you know that you're never going to miss a land drop for the rest of the game until they remove or form some form of strategy to block the Almond. With that being said, we have more land within the Cultivator, a 3/4. When it enters play, grab a forest or an island. It's in play untapped, so you can utilize that single mana on the Dryad if you're playing it on pace turn 4. If you're playing it turn 5, obviously you have 2 mana available, so on and so forth as you work your way up the curve. We have a little bit of disruption and counter magic. You find the Villain's Lair for 3, counter target spell, or draw 2 and discard 2 at instant speed. So this is really nice. If you need to counter, it's there. If not, you're just cycling through your deck to your more important cards. Divide by 0, instant speed for 3, return target spell or permanent with mana value 1 or greater to its owner's hand and learn. We have the sideboard to take advantage of as well. So, we're interrupting our opponent quite nicely within the deck. And then finally, the payoff spells. Alrund's Epiphany, 2/1/1 flyers, and take an extra turn. Foretell for 6. And the Summoner, bounce all non-wizards, giants, and lands to their opponent's hand, which is quite nice. And then Storm of the Giants, Lair of the Hydras for our creature lands with, some basics to fill the void. We have Environmental Sciences for the ramp, Teaching for the draw, Breach for enchantment removal, and Mascot Exhibition for a little bit of aggro/defense if we need it. That's the deck. General strategy and synergy, ramp into the Cyclone Summoner, right? Once you're there, take some extra turns. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. The coolest thing is if you string together the summoners, Summoner, bounce everything, they play a couple more things, boom, Summoner, you bounce all their stuff again, you hit for 7, so on and so forth, right? So keep in mind you'll also have the lands to help you out along that journey. That's the deck. Enjoy today's gameplay footage, and remember, I'll be back to wrap up with my final thoughts after this. Alrighty, here we go again. We are not really playing fair today, but hey, that's what the meta wants. That's what the meta gets. We will need to ramp into it, though, right? We've got no ramp in hand. Could be pretty groovy. I don't really know. There we go. Let's see if we can get it to some dirty. I think the Dryad goes out. That is our first form of ramp. We have 3, that's 4. Divide can grab Sciences. Now, what do they take? They might even take Divide by 0 here. I don't doubt it. I do not doubt that one bit. Clean up my desk a little bit here. They're taking the decision. It's hard for them. Oh, they do take an Epiphany. Huh. Well, it's not that bad, I guess. We pass. Holding up Divide by 0. They know this. But probably wanting to sack the Dryad so we have a confirmed... Oof. Let's see what they take first. I mean, I don't want to try to ramp into the Cultivator if they just take it away. They committed to Alrund's Epiphany, so why not finish it? Take another. Yeah. Let's bounce the binder. Grab the Sciences. And still top deck our 4th land. Nice. It's always in good taste. I think we actually should take a forest here in case the Dryad doesn't work out for us. No attacks. We're chilling. Still have 20 life. We're at 5 mana. Potentially 6. And then 7th in our hand. Do they take the Sciences or they start hitting our summoners? They take the Sciences. Reasonable. Not worried really about the summoners at all, I feel like. That's our 6th land. Grab some life. This is going to be our 7th, right? So let's try to hit for 3. They could double block. I'm fine with that. Down to 17, so we're keeping pace and actually setting pace thanks to the life gain from the sciences. This is a lot of damage this turn, though. Alright, 7 damage. We grab our 7th land. We have 8th in hand. We will need 9 eventually here. Merchant is great, you know, this is a nice draw engine. The Menace isn't swinging in, just staying as a chump blocker. We take 6 down to 13. The Elite Spellbinder, not only great interruption or disruption from your opponent's game plan, but an aggressive attacker as well in the air with evasion. Professor goes out, they learn. They take the Mascot, or, you know, which way do they go? Mascot's bad against the Summoner. They know we have it. They take the Sciences. Let's sack this for a Forest. We have another in play, and, you know, we're ready to rip. Let's slam in. I think we just get the damage. Might be a chump block. Oh, yeah, we're silly. At the defender. Oh well, let's bounce everything. So we have the land for the Epiphanies. The Summoner's already in play. They, even if they take this Summoner too, we can still just immediately replay it. Really? What is happening here? So they're just discarding, and they have instant speed exile? They accidentally skipped through their... Send some love out if we can. We don't get it. But hey, Flip will take anything he can get. Going first, you know, nothing special here, but it's not that bad. We have some ramp. It's not Cultivate. I mean, it's pretty good, but... Pushing Alrund to the side, now castable for 6 through the Foretell cost. They do the same. Let's try to play the long con here. It's not every game you get to 3-drop the God of Voyage. The 4 toughness is not that bad either, and we definitely exile it if we get the chance. Thank you. Land off the top. No. Well, that's sad. Land off the top would have been quite excellent there. So our first stumble. I thought cats didn't stumble. Alright, they're really going for it. I guess we just allow it. And then if they're going to Goldspan, we bounce the Goldspan to their hand. Don't you dare do this. I mean, we only have 1 island. They shouldn't be too threatened. Take the Sciences. Play the Sciences. Grab an island. Play the island. Take the Voyage counter. Play the Dryad. It's our turn. These Roiling Regrowths were supposed to be active by now, but just getting what we can. Another Galazeth. Not good. 3 mana. They burn the Dryad before we get the mana from it. Not good, not bad. It's totally up to them. Alright, so just down to 1 available mana here. Oh, and it's not good for us. We're so far behind. So far behind. Let's just pass our turn. I mean, we do have a counterspell, but is countering a Goldspan Dragon worth it? Is countering an all... Well, yeah, it is. It is. Alrund Epiphany, Opus, it's all worth it. It just really sucks for our game plan. So we're at 4, we'd go to 6, we top deck to 7, but they still have haste. It's not great, and they could have counter magic here for us as well. Probably do. Yeah. Nice. Prismari Dragons are at the top of their game. This deck is good. Right? The dragons are absolutely oppressive. We're hit for 7, down to 13. Ay caramba, and 4 mana available because the Goldspan. I don't think it should double the value of treasures, but hey, what do I know? I do not understand this land. It's pretty goddamn ridiculous. We're just gonna die. We're just gonna die. Oh, there they are. I've been looking for you. Oh my gosh. We're still hit for a minimum of 7 here. They could have an Opus, right? There's plenty of things that just lead directly to our death. Alrund's Epiphany. So let's not get ahead of ourselves. The land was kind of slow here. It is what it is. Maybe I should have went with Regrowth first. It's really hard to say. I don't think it would have mattered much, and you know, they have 10, 16 available mana. They have so much mana they could have double cast Alrund on 1 turn. Stop it. Alright, our opponent goes first. Looks like a pretty tasty hand. Let's see how it pans out for us. The Twitch. The Twitch. Let's Dryad first, and then we can, you know, foretell this later. Emergent. Such a good card. Hit for onesies. I don't know if we ramp here or I be greedy. I really want to be greedy. And just be like, look at how this card paid off. Look at how this card paid off. Yeah. Perfectly. So next turn, we play the land, Dryad for another land, and then Sequence for another land. So that's fun. If things survive. They may exile. No. They're just ramping. They're ramping. They could still remove, though. I don't know if it's healthy or not for them. It doesn't throw us off our game plan too much, is what I mean to say, right? It's just like an added bonus if we get it. You know, who doesn't love to draw just 3 or 4 cards later on in the game? So, they can remove it if they want. If not, that's cool too. They seem to skip through. They're just ramping out, so we exile. Grab the land, which is a forest. Decline. Oh, no, take action. Because we want the counters on it. And then we play a forest. Take action again. And then finally, the Emergent Sequence. And we need a forest. We have plenty of islands in hand. And then we could draw 2 cards or leave it there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Next turn 7. I'm going to take action and just keep stacking those Voyage counters on Cosima? I have no idea. I'm assuming like Cosmos. So another Twitch in play. They have 5 available manners. Decline. Well, actually take action, sorry. And then super bouncy. We're not actually really getting rid of a lot, so they should sack the treasure for a draw, because it's going to get bounced anyways. They removed the land instead of the summoner. By golly, that is interesting. They may have removal here. 6 available mana. At the very least, they're in our way. Oof. There it is. 1 Soul Shatter, please. And they want to play effectively, so they play the 3-drop. Oh, they just hold up more removal. I'm going to bring this into the fold. So we're going to decline, and we're drawing 4. It's a 6/8. All lands. Oh my gosh. That's funny, bro. We can protect it with Divide by 0. That's probably the better option. So let's just play some things into the field. And then we pass our turn. And then if they try to remove it or do whatever, well, then they're just going to do it on their turn. You jerk. No! I mean, we would be making them respend it on their turn. Exhibition time or what? I think that's where we go with it. And now they have to spend 3 of their 6 or 3 of their 7 potentially to remove the God of Voyage, which apparently is the God of Lands. Makes a treasure, sure. They still have 3 mana. They should do it now before we have a counter spell. There it is. Ouch. Hydra in play. Go super wide. No attacks. And we still have our Epiphany. I really thought we'd draw more of those. Apparently not, though. They have 3 cards in their hand. Just grinding this one out, I think, at a certain point. If we could get back to our sideboard for another exhibition, that would be cool. They have a nice sack and double draw, basically. This land, ay caramba. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This would be untapped. Why not? Just the more land we get, the better, right? Thinning our library of this pesky card type that is really, really taking advantage of us, I feel like. We'll hit for 4. Right? They could trade with their land. They just take the chump block and double draw, basically. Very good. They get to learn from the sideboard, which is 1, and then the merchant will draw as well. Oh, they're going for the exhibition as well. Fighting fire with fire. Ending our turn. Another double draw. It's a dirty, dirty play. I really like it. And super free to play friendly, right? This is beginner friendly. This is an uncommon. This is an uncommon. The value that it generates is not uncommon. It is rare, at the very least. So they actually have 2 of their mascots. It would drain all of their resources, right? Their entire turn would be a mascot. I don't think this 1/1 is doing anything. So we're going to sack it. Pick up the land. Resolve this. And now it's our turn. There we go. You love to see it. So we have 12, which is quite nice. Let's just do the full cost here. I guess we should have done the cheap one, maybe, actually. I guess the 4/4 can swing in, and the 2/1 can swing in. That's nice. Not really in love with it. But we have to do everything in our power. Um, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right? 3, 4, 5, 6. Totally. And 1 is a blue source. Let's try to smash through the castle here. Hey, Maya? Get him. Get him. Good hit. Good hit, good hit, good hit. Let's try to do all of the lands. And this can be 1, 4, 5. Right? For a total of 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Plus the land remains untapped. Math is hard. And we get a pretty healthy hit. I don't think... Oh, it is. It is! It is lethal. Nice. We better give it a good game. I was too busy doing simple addition. Hey, Maya? Yeah, my dad's not very smart. Good game. I don't know entirely if this hand is a keep or not. Opponent goes first, only 2 lands. Sure, if we draw a 3rd, that's nice, and we could always Emergent for the 3rd, but it could get burned real quick. What do you think, Maya? Hey, Maya. Is this a keep hand, or we toss this? She's like, I don't know, man. I'm just gonna look up here, maybe? Frig off, Randy. Go for it. Don't be scared, man. Third land, off the top. We are legends. She's almost ready for a new set of foam. She tears it up so much with her claws and then she eats it. But she shouldn't be eating the foam, Maya. That is a bad cat. Angels. Angels, angels, angels. We have 2 islands, so let's take a forest. Do we just keep ramping? We have nothing really to ramp into. The draw could be really good. Angels are annoying. We need a Cyclone Summoner, like, super duper ASAP. We have 4 available mana. Let's Voyage, attack for 2, and probably regret everything. This could be unpleasant, right? There's so many 4-drops that are super annoying, but it's like, well, why didn't they play? The Spellbinder takes... You find the Villain's Lair? Divide by 0? Certainly not a regrowth or a sequence. I do not know. Okay, okay. Divide by 0 is obsolete. Definitely exile this, take action. Alright, so take action again, putting the Voyage counter on, and we will pass our turn. We have counter magic up. We could also draw and discard. Draw 2, discard 2, which is not a bad option. We're at 5 available mana, playing to 6, so we're so close. Hit for 4, down to 14. Another land. They foretell over. So I'm going to take this opportunity to ramp. Take 1 of each. Take action. Take action. That's really good. Our turn. More of the same. Land in play. Take action. Sequence. Another land in play. Take action. So we're just like slamming these counters on. Or should we draw at this point? Draw 4. And we have counter magic up? Maybe. How do we draw all land every time? Every single time. Land. We drew 4 land last time we did it too. I'm sure of it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, let's hit for 2. We play the Dryad, hold up the counter spell. Insane draw. Wow. Like, what are the chances of that? How do I have so much land all the time? Crazy stuff. That's probably worth a counterspell, hey? Nah, leave it. Find your giants. More land. Holy Toledos. They're in there somewhere, right? 38 cards left. And there's very few land. Like, we have 7 8, 9, 10 land left. So I think you're going back. Right, you didn't do your job the first time, so let's see if this... Oh my lord. We have way more cards than them, is the problem. Take action. For sure, for sure, for sure. Pass our turn. Most def, most def, most def. 5, 6, 7, 8. So we can double cast the divides. We're in a pretty terrible spot here, though. If you're looking for any landscaping, let me know. I'm your guy. Oh, these are both for us. I tapped my land wrong. At least we didn't do the binder first, and then they would have just taken the mascot from us. Okay, so we can still sack the Dryad to thin ourselves out a little more. We really need this Cyclone Summoner, like, right now. Whoops, let me pull this up. Cyclone Summoner's an 11% chance. And it's gonna go up here by just a bit more. 11-11. Take action. And we have 3 draws, you know what I mean? We better get it. I'm gonna freak out. There it is. There it is, there it is, there it is. So first, bounce everything. Then play the land. Do we want to draw 2? Or should we wait till next turn and draw 3? Yeah. We can hit for 2. Let's hold up divide by 0. And we're just looking for more Cyclone Summoners, right? All my cats have left. My dear companions, you've abandoned me! So we just toss this right back to their hand, right? Take an exhibition. Land out. Decline, take the wicked awesome draw. Okay, now we're talking. Now we are talking. Boom, that's gonna help. Good game. We had to draw 2, discard 2 as well to help us find that next set of cards that we needed. The Cyclone Summoner is a very good matchup against the Angels, right? Lots of tokens, lots of high mana value cards that get played later on in the game, which gives you a couple turns to ramp into it. All right. 2 land. Turn 1 Dryad. Turn 2 Sequence. I think we can keep this. It's pretty risky on 2, but, you know, technically we have 3 and 4 here. And we can even turn 2 this other Hydra Lair, which is alright. You gotta love that, right? We have an island in hand, but we do need 2 islands. And the Dryad pulls a forest as well. So let's grab an island with the sequence. Again, it's in play, so it's vulnerable to removal. They have counter magic. They have removal. Dimir controls a good deck. We can hit for 1. I want to keep the island back to defend. And then we have counter magic up if we need. They want to go for it. They're like, I'm going to remove something. Hit for 1. End our turn. If they don't remove, we have ramp. And do we want to counter the spell? Nah. Maybe. I don't know. Probably not. I want to counter a Planeswalker spell. Right? I want to counter a counter spell. I might even want to counter a field wipe or removal. Let's see if it gets through. Right, we didn't need to counterspell, so we don't need the second island. Let's sack an island and pull 2 more out. Alright. We have 5 available mana. Not much, and we know they have a field wipe. Should we just hit for 3 and hold up counter magic every turn? Again, they want to remove before we attack. Let's hit for 3, down to 15. I guess we should have left it back. No, well, if they wouldn't remove it if they had something worthwhile to play. And this is a land, not a token. So we could even know its mana value is 1. I don't know if I want to counter this or not. I say we just let it go. Take our hit. And keep ramping, right? It's a simple equation. Just get lots of land in play and smash them with the big baddies. So another forest, and that will allow us to play this other Dryad. Because the Cultivator land actually comes in untapped, which is pretty neat, especially with the Dryad. Very easy to sneak in. They need to wipe the field here. We're on 4, 5 available mana. If we get to sack the Dryads, if they don't wipe them, you know, we go to 7. Potentially 8 with the draw. So, let's smash. I mean, this is 5 damage down to 12. Sure. I mean, there's worse things in their deck than a Soul Shatter, and the Cultivator isn't, you know, our main bay, so casualty of war. We hold up a counterspell. We have Divide by 0 as well, and we can sack the Dryads. 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm gonna let it through.
Envy the strong, for they
That's totally fine. We're bouncing those, right?
and I, the generous one.
So we finally sack the Dryads. They both pull forests. We have 20 life. I mean, but then they could get counter magic up, and I like if they have the walker and then they start pulling counter magic, that's really bad. This is just gonna get removed. What it should mean, hopefully, unless they have removal for 2, Power World, can't kill Dragon. Unless they have something to remove the summoner for 2, they can't play the walker and this removal, right? So, you know, Soul Shatter, which we know they have, cost 3, takes them down to 4, can't play the 5 mana creature, or Planeswalker. Mastery hits us for 2, gives us the draw, and then they do it. Nice. So there is a way around it, and that's why Baleful Mastery is such a good card. I know a lot of people say, well, Soul Shatter's better, you don't have to target it, and in some cases, yes, but we just see an exact scenario there why we were wrong. Ay caramba. There's probably a field wipe here. I'm nervous. One island, please. I'm gonna keep this for next turn to double play on the God. So we're just chilling. They get the draw. Is there a Mordenkainen in here? It's kind of bad because like they put their Planeswalkers out, they minus. We bounce the tokens, but then the Planeswalkers are just like, you know, ready to hit the field again. And that's hard. They need to remove this. I guess not. Land and play. Take action. Putting an exile counter. And then we still have counter magic. Just grabbing another land for another Voyage counter. Thinning our library, because apparently that's our number 1 go-to. All we have here is land. There's probably 2 lands under here already. Take action. I'm going to try to kill the queen. And then they're going to try to Blood on the Snow us. And then I'm going to counter that. I hope. Right? Yeah. Definitely. Or they just hold on, right? It's just an easy chump block. Put 1 spider in front. We do get through, it appears. Unless there's single target removal. Which we could bounce to their hand for 3 and still have counter magic, so that would be fine.
I'm sure you'll miss me.
The queen is dead! Oh, wow. That's a good card, man. So, like, at a certain point, they're gonna have Blood on the Snow and counter magic. Maybe we should have countered that. That's hard. That is a hard call. 3 to the bottom, 2 to the top. We really need to counter Blood on the Snow. But they also have more copies of Planeswalkers, which are relatively annoying as well. Cyclone Summoner is at 3 out of 4 in deck, 8.3% chance to draw, and we have a potential quad draw. Really? They do have Menace, they both could attack, but then there's no defenders, is the thing. And this stays as a counterspell. It would be draw 2. Take action just for another counter. We swing in. And they just chump block with their spiders, I assume. Oh, they have the Tall Giant as well. Let's keep this in our minds. But I think that mana is meant to go elsewhere. End our turn. We're just chilling. They have a full hand, right? There's 7 cards in their hand, 38 in library. We're at 35 in library, 3 in hand. So we counter this. And then they have a counter, maybe, and we bounce the counter back to their hand. That's a pretty big hit on our end, too, because they're totally tapped after that. Right? We have the Hydra. We have the Hydra to bear down for like 9 damage, plus 6. We have lethal. We hold lethal if they counter this. Oh my god! They gone and done it! Wait a minute. Am I correct in this, that we are countering Blood on the Snow, but then they are countering their own Blood on the Snow back to their hand? It's targeting Blood on the Snow. Is that just a missed target by them? Or they just want our card to fizzle? But they're totally tapped out, and, you know, it's Hydra Town. You know what I mean? Not only Hydra Town, but we get to draw 3, 4 for the turn, which is pretty cool. Alrighty, so Land Summoner version 1. I like it. You know, Cyclone Summoner has been my favorite card for a little bit now. You know, it's like a blue field wipe. It's expensive, but you get a 7/7 out of it, and you can play it on top of themselves to, you know, just basically have massive control over the field state. So I enjoy the deck. Yes, there's a ton of ramp that really just is benefited by a few cards. Maybe we take, you know, some MDFC lands in here to improve the deck. We could take the Seagate. We could take even potentially the Symbiosis, right? The green and red Mythic Modual lands. That's a potential for us. Walry's Disruption is another potential. I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Again, I really appreciate each and every one of you, your time and attention. You know, it's just... Thank you so much. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and check out the Linktree link, right? Support the channel, become a Patreon, you know, join the YouTube membership, all of these cool things, and we'll see you soon in the next.